Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our first stream. Really, our first stream of 2025. Yes, we had one around the 2nd, but this is different. We got a full week of news today. So, welcome. Super pumped that you're here. If you're new here, my name's Tyler. I'm going to be helping navigate you through this wild world of day trading futures. What you can expect is a big drop in price right now. Dang it. Why does it have to do it right now? I knew it was going to do something. We hit the previous week high. We hit the daily fair value gap. It messed up my intro. We're going to be giving you live. I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm going to be sharing with you my daily trading bias, which we'll go over here in a second, and then we're going to do live transaction. We're going to do live trades here on the screen. So if you're here for the first time, make sure you are paying attention. Also, if you're watching after the stream, you can jump to the key moments using the chapter markers below the video. And lastly, if you want to use funded future, if you want to use a futures account, if you want to use a funded account, you can use Apex, which gives you anywhere from 70, 50, 70, 80, 90% off. You can use the code DTJ to get the most updated discount that's available. So we got a major displacement right now. Let's go ahead and open in prayer and then let's rock and roll. Father, we honor you this morning. Thank you for the opportunity we have to build wealth through day trading. Father, I ask for wisdom. Give us patience. Father, we reject any manipulation of our emotions when the market is moving. Father, we thank you've given us wisdom beyond our years, and we will choose to trade with precision and with caution. And Father, we will execute fearlessly when we see what we feel is supposed to, the trade that we're supposed to take. So Father, we honor you in our trading. We bless you in Jesus' name, amen. Good morning, folks. Tony, T-Loff, Shane, Northern, J Money, good morning. Glad to have you this morning. Really don't like that little bit of a reaction right here before open. As far as news this morning, let's see what we got on FX calendar. I dropped this earlier in the Discord. We got nothing major, but we got final sales for PMI that are coming out at 9:45, which is orange folder news. And then the rest of the week is going to be pretty full, which is going to be nice. Let's see what happens here. With this reaction, guys, I already expected and wanted to see lower prices. So I'll show you. I do want to see prices move lower here this morning. I'm going to mark my opening range gap here. All right, that is, let's see how big this is from 489 to 643, over 100 points. So this is fairly large. Will be a good target. I usually like to use the opening range gap as my initial draw on liquidity, especially if we have London lows, midnight opening range, new week opening gap all down here. That's going to make a nice draw for liquidity. Let's see, hourly. We should get a nice displacement candle here, more than likely. We got market open in 10 minutes. There's a 30-minute, 15-minute. We got these relatively equal lows that are down here. We did sweep this level, but it's going to make a nice draw on liquidity again. That's a equal low right there. I'm just trying to find out if we're still going to drop before we're going to move higher initially here. I would like us to move higher initially. I would like us not to run that low. But we got London lows sitting here. London lows, we got previous day high, we got our new week opening gap, and our from the previous week and for this week, and our midnight open, all right here. In addition to that, if we look at the daily chart and we look at the previous day range, we have our Friday equilibrium way down here. So this is kind of the area I would like to end up at, is right around this volume imbalance. That's where I think we're going to be ending up going. How we get there, we just got to wait for our setup, wait for our model, wait for a clear indication that we're going to go lower. Like, I know we're going to go lower here, okay? How we go lower is the question that we don't have an answer to. So you could go lower right here, but why would you do that? Here's the risk you play. We have this large 1 minute fair value gap that we could come up into. We could come all the way up to here, still respect it, and then go lower. So going short here, honestly, is just unnecessary turmoil that you'll have to ride through by it coming up into this area. So we got to wait till we see some type of premium PD array being tested and being rejected or supported. Basically, we come up into it and we reject it, and then we go off of there so we can have a tighter stop loss. That's ultimately why we don't want to go short here. And it's just not part of the model. That could be an inversion fair value gap. We'll leave that there for right now. Let's see what happens here. 5 minute. Ted, good morning. Breaker right here, yeah. This nice breaker. Now, let's see, how many points is that? Yeah, 43 points. We don't want it to sweep the 640s right now. In my opinion, J Money, I want it to come up here and run that level very quickly after open, ideally. Good morning, T. ES also hit its previous week high. It has this London low down here and midnight open. So everything looks really nice in regards to just correlating markets. We also do have an SMT where ES made a higher high and NQ did not make a higher high. Here's it running into that breaker again right here. This is where it would be, if you were going to go short, I'm not going short here, but this would be a more appropriate spot right here. All right, 4 minutes till market opens here. We are really, we're watching to see if this level wants to be inversed. If this level is going to be inversed, we may push up through these highs real quick before we see lower prices. I want to see lower prices. The main reason is we came into the daily fair value gap that I really wanted to come into. Right here, this is the daily fair value gap. Now, could we push up deeper into this fair value gap? Sure. Yeah, we could. That's definitely an option. But this candle right here tells me, did it run those lows or may exactly equal lows here? Low is 671.75. $642. It went lower barely. All right, so there's our push through the highs. We're going to see how it wants to react here. Technically, we didn't get a close on this candle. This is unfortunately, this is very bullish. This type of reaction right below consolidation, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So I'm not sure how much higher we're going to want to go, but this signature and price is very bullish. These wicks are really nasty. This is the stuff that I don't want to mess with. I'd rather skip it and just wait. It's also the time we have the greatest opportunity for our motions to be messed with, because we got nice big candles and it looks like it's obvious, but then we get these large wicks that just mess with us. Looks loaded to shoot out of a cannon. That's exactly what it looks like. Yeah, even this candle right here coming into this breaker and then put a push higher right there. But the size of these wicks are just not what I want. Lost my coffee cup last week, so I got me a new one. We could use the previous day low from 1226 as a rejection point. That's possible. ES has not gone anywhere. ES has not gone anywhere. I mean, it barely wicked through the high. But I like this idea. No, not a breaker. I mean, maybe on a 4-hour time frame it is. It's a mitigation block right here. High, low, lower, high. I don't know if I really want that. My primary goal today from Friday's debacle is to take my entries in the appropriate spots. So if I'm going to take a breaker, I'm going to take it when it hits the breaker. If I'm going to take an inversion, I'm going to do it on the close or the retest of the inversion fair value gap. I'm not going to wait for additional confirmation. That's really what bit me in the butt on Friday, and my unwillingness to admit that I was wrong, even though it didn't violate any premium PD arrays. That's really what the hard part was. If I had my stop loss at the appropriate spot, I would have been able to have a 10-handle stop loss really easily and have my risk mitigated appropriately. So we're not going to do that today. We're going to make sure we take our entries in the proper spots. when they're hitting the correlating PD array for my model. So that's the plan. And then the plan is to walk away with cash. So order block tagged, order block tagged. Pretty algorithmic price action for higher prices. Good morning, David. Yeah, we got NFP on Friday, so today, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning we'll trade. Thursday, we will probably not trade. Day before NFP. We'll take a look at the market, though. We'll see what happens. Having issues loading my my broker on TradingView this morning. So I might be trading on Trade-of-8. Hank Flying, good morning. Market is closed on Thursday for Jimmy Carter, I think. I don't think it's closed. Thursday? No, there's plenty of stuff going on Thursday. Natural gas storage. We got final wholesale inventories. We got FOM speaker Harker speaks. We got Challenger job cuts. But it's all yellow folder news, so we want to stay away or be very cautious on that day. I don't know what Biden's doing. Biden's getting on my nerves lately. He just awarded Hillary Clinton one of the most prestigious awards, and George Soros. I saw the post on X. A guy said, "Well, what about this guy who ran into a burning building and saved a whole family?" But I digress. On ES, we're reaching up into this last fair value gap right here. I mean, I can't imagine, this is an inversion fair value gap, but I can't imagine us going much higher than this. I mean, 20 handles is quite a bit on ES, so I guess we have some room for some for some room higher, but we just tagged that inversion on ES. So I really would like to see us start to roll over here. On NQ, on the daily chart, we're still inside the daily fair value gap. We just tagged the consequent encroachment of that daily fair value gap. Unless they really want us to take us back to all-time highs, here's our all-time highs right here. I guess that's not our first target. Our first target would be our new week opening gap from the 16th of December. That seems like I got that wrong. I got those labeled incorrectly. That is the 30th. Oh, what do we get? We got a fair value gap. First fair value gap right there. We will mark that. Size is that? That is a 8 handle, 9 handle fair value gap. Equal lows right there. Let's see if it gives us a potential entry here. No entry. Oh, that is insane. Did you see that? I'm like, this looks good. This is why you wait for the close. That was also, this is also the 945 candle right here. There's something coming out at 945 today. Final services for PMI. Yeah, so that's, I guess we got something. But still, you can see the order flow is remaining bullish. We haven't violated anything. Honestly, this is definitely, this would have been a definite entry for, well, I mean, it would have been up here. But that's definitely a bullish signature in price. Even if it was declared a holiday, I doubt it's happening right now. I mean, it's not on any of the news calendars here. I don't even know what Jimmy Carter did. If anything, he should have made November 5th a federal holiday. You're going to make a holiday so everybody can go vote. That's ridiculous. Well, I guess we're not trading on Thursday anyway. I didn't want to. So high, low, higher, high. We potentially have a breaker level here. We are in the 10 a.m. macro here. We're really far away from Friday's equal midpoint. That may be a stretch, but I guess it's possible if we really wanted to continue running lower. Hold my beer. It's like, oh yeah. Let me do that real quick. You know, I've said this many times to a few friends of mine. I've been like, you know what? The day that I've been waiting for is not Christmas. It wasn't the New Year. It is January 20th. That's my holiday. Cheers, Trump. You know, I don't really mess around with Bitcoin. If you were gonna do Bitcoin, the way I would approach it is how you would do any long-term vesting. Drop $100 every month, every week, whatever you want, and just start adding to it. Jimmy Carter did better outside of his presidency, Habitat for Humanity, and some of his other Christian charity work. Yeah, I don't know the history of Jimmy Carter. I think there was some type of political debacle that I think he's most known for, but I don't remember what it was. Folks, we're just waiting for price to get out of this trend right here. It's nothing that we want to trade. We're waiting for displacement. Basically, I'm waiting for a change in state of delivery, something that wants to move the other direction here. So until then, we're kind of just chit-chatting. Cooler, it's chatting around the cooler. They captured our embassy. You know, for the debt problem, Tony, you know, where there's so many things that we could do. One, removing all this unnecessary spending, which the Doge is going to do, hopefully. We have a bunch of oil that we can tax, that we could dump towards the debt. We're one of the most richest economically, or in regards to oil, energy independence. We could sell that and become the new Middle East in regards to energy production. But we could easily start putting, you know, if we can start putting $1 trillion a year towards it, I mean that's huge. That's huge. Let's look here. What do we got for a range? Equilibrium right now of this range is at previous week high. So to be honest, we could, if it wants to run higher, I really would like it to get below the previous week high. 8 minutes till this candle is going to close. And this candle here. Inside, definitely bullish. I mean, this is definitely bullish. The hard part right here is we're inside the middle of a daily fair value gap. So if we're looking for a key level for a reversal, I don't see it. Honestly, us filling this fair value gap and then rejecting would be more likely for would be more confirmation for a potential reversal. Us hitting a key level, that is. So I'm not sure if I wanted to start changing directions right now, because I think I would rather it hit towards the high to the top of this daily fair value gap. Is that one standard deviation? So for those that are looking here, if you're looking at the 5-minute chart right here, one standard deviation would be this. You drag it from this low to this high. And then I have my target fibs or target. And so from that high to this low, this is what I would call the manipulation. One standard deviation actually lands exactly on that previous day low. One standard deviation. From that swing high to that swing low. You could do it from this swing high, from just the manipulation, and I think that's Ted, what you're probably tagging it to. I like the idea of the swing high. Just seeing how it lands perfectly at that high, that just grabs my attention when I see stuff like that. Doesn't mean it has to happen, but I'm just like, man, if it does grab that level, hit that level, and then rejects, I would feel more confident. You know, it does that kind of thing to you. You know what I'm saying? We'll see, though. And as I speak, it runs the opposite direction. Four minutes. I like these equal lows right here. If we do get a close below this inversion fair value gap, that would be a short to these equal lows. That's probably my initial interest, is taking that trade. Just going to jump over to the screen in case it does move quickly, just so I'm on it for the trade for you guys. And actually, how many likes do we got? Hit the like button for me, guys. Let's see if we can get up to 17. Let's hit 17 likes. Typically, I like to do about 50% of the amount of people that are on here, and then we'll look at taking this trade. On screen, that is. I do like how small, what the risk level is on this inversion right here. This is 8 handles. So relatively low risk, but we want to get as close to this level as possible for our entry. The problem on taking this as like a breaker is we technically have room to run higher, all the way up to 870. So I'm going to mark out 870 here on this screen here. Technically, we could run up all the way to that level. Which is the high of the daily fair value gap. All right, I don't think it's going there quite yet, so we're going to jump back to this screen here. There is a 2-minute, interesting. We have a 2-minute from that high to that low, or that high to that low. And it stopped inside that 2-minute fair value gap. It's 10:01. 10:01 right now. So on the hourly, we have our closed candle right here. That's what the hourly looks like. And then on the 4-hour, we have this candle right here that is just closed. So it looks like there's a 930 level right here. That is interesting. Have one of you guys go over to Friday, December 27th and check out that opening price. I still have that on there. Let's see what that is. There's that opening price right there and our opening range gap. Folks, there it is. That gives me potentially some clarity. We have this opening range gap that has not been touched. Opening range gap from December 27th. This is why I leave some of this stuff on there. I'm glad I don't take it always. I always don't take it off. So 9:30, we just tagged. We have an opening range gap. Midnight open, we don't need to come up into. Technically, we could just come up to the 50% of this opening range gap, which comes out to be 920. That's what we could be reaching for, a little bit of this liquidity sitting right here. But, yep, that's what I think at this moment. It'll be interesting to see how we react from this 930. Now that we've hit 930, if we have some aggression lower, it gives me a little more confidence. $930 from, what is that? December 27th? One of the course members and gentlemen in my Discord, John, did a back test on our 930 model, found out some interesting stuff, and found out that in certain scenarios that it has a 79% win rate, which is fantastic, which was great. I was impressed that he did it. He did a great job. We didn't take the 930 this morning. Simply because of some price action that I didn't like. I wanted to go lower, but because of the big reaction we had initially, I thought that we might push higher, and so I didn't want to take the 930 model this morning. So I didn't. It played out. It basically was this 930? Yeah. It wouldn't have paid out, but break even would have been roughly, or excuse me, it would have closed basically at break even. All right, let's see what happens we get here. We've been waiting. We've been waiting. This is the kind of price action we do not want to do anything with, folks. This is where, back in the day, I got destroyed. Oh, it's going to go. Oh, it's not going to go. Oh, it's going to go. Oh, it's not going to go. Oh, it's going to go. Just absolute account destruction. It is absolute chop. Zeus, welcome. I think I've seen your name here before. I'm glad you're hanging out with us. Oops. This candle just tells me higher prices. That's what that candle does. It's just kind of put a wrench in the day so far. Wow. In 5 seconds, that's what we've gotten. Oh, I'm on the 2-minute. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad I did not. That scared me for a second. This is the idea. Targeting that. I close above that. That's kind of the idea of what I'm thinking. Not gonna lie, these candles are freaking me out. This is why I'm not taking anything. So important to make sure you wait for the close of candles for your confirmation. Helps you avoid crap like this. I mean, can you imagine? You're like, oh yeah, it's for sure gonna go lower, and then it shoots all the way up here in less than like 2 seconds. I mean, it was sitting right here, and it jumped up 26 points in like 2 seconds. I'm on the wrong screen, sorry. I'm switching back and forth. I'm really trying to make sure I'm showing my screen on the trade, so I keep trying to jump back and forth, because if I'm not intentional, I forget about it when I'm in the trade. This is the idea that I'm shooting for, something like that. Target is those equal lows right here. But the truth is if we get here, there's a good probability we run lower. So all this low resistance liquidity sitting right here. Just remember, and here's the thing, just for future reference, when I'm talking about something we need to focus on, it's because I'm reminding myself. I don't want you to think that I have this all figured out perfectly. I have to remind myself constantly. I mean, Friday is a great example of an epic failure that I've had. But I'm trying to be more intentional to remind myself, and you guys get the benefit of hearing me think out loud. We just have to wait. There will be a nice move lower. There's no doubt in my mind. If it's in the next 10 minutes or if it's the next 2 hours, I don't know. But that's kind of what we're waiting for, is that displacement. So here's our sweep of the highs. We'll see how this candle closes. This was a tag of our 930 first fair value gap right here, which is interesting that you get a bullish response after we tag it. Javon, good morning. Shane, you bet. I mean, that's what this channel's about. This is not not a signal service. I mean, that's the biggest mistake new traders make. Not the biggest, but one of the biggest mistakes. I just put out a video that talked about some of the biggest mistakes I made when I was unprofitable that I made. One of those is treating live streams like a signal service. Waiting, oh, he's going to take it. Okay, I'm getting in when he gets in. I've been wrong. T, you got 22 on that? Nice. You took a 30-second, Ryan. I didn't see this. I wasn't on the 30-second. Did I get that right? 30-second time frame. That's nice. That's nice right there. Good call, Ryan. Good call. I was on the 2-minute, so initially it freaked me out when I thought we were about to close underneath there. So I didn't even think about the 30-second. I was just grateful that I switched time frames to the 1-minute. But this reaction right here, look at it, folks. It swept liquidity here. We tagged a fair value gap, an important one, and closed, making an inversion right here with the push higher. That was a nice move, Ryan. 5-minute closed pretty strong here off of that reaction. It looks like a continual grind higher. How we react once we fill this daily fair value gap is kind of my next area of focus on how I want to see it play out. Let's see how it plays out from that. Play the breaker. So we got a low, high, lower, low right here. I wonder if it's better on the 30-second. Looks better on the 30-second. Played it right there is what Ted did. I probably would have anchored mine on this green candle's high and it wouldn't have hit it, but what it did come into was the fair value gap. That fair value gap right there. So that's a legitimate setup. I just personally, not after we hit 930, and if I feel like we're too close, but following this reaction, that's not a bad setup. So good job. You bet. The scalps are the best. In and out quick. We have a 1 minute sitting right here. Still in premium. It's not bad. This is the daily fair value gap. My daily fair value gaps are always green. There's the daily right there. So I'm not, especially on a daily. You totally could do that, but then it doesn't give me any key points to target. What I would rather do personally is just do that and create a volume imbalance on there. What happened to that? I think I named it wrong. There it is. So you're saying it's approaching the consequent encroachment of this level here. So tagged that level right there, which happens to be right around this, right around that low as well. So, all right. So we hit the previous day low. We also filled in the daily fair value gap. I would like to see a reaction around this point. I think it will be. I want to see how it reacts once we hit this level, but I probably will remove this 930 level from the 27th. All right, look how choppy this is. This is nothing we want to participate in. Now, one thing that we can expect typically, typically a downside move is faster than the upside move. But if we just look at how long it took us to get to this high from that reaction to the downside, from this push lower, this brings us all the way out to, I can't even see the time on that because 11:30. Brings us all the way to 11:30. I expect if we are going to turn over here, it should complete prior to 11:30 is basically what I'm saying. You want to, usually you'll see some type of symmetry in the market when you see these market maker sell models. And many times the sell side is a little bit faster. So completing in, a third of the time. So sometime around here. Whatever that would be. Around 11 o'clock. But we just got to see what kind of reaction we get right now. I have that level there already. Let's add the 0.6, 0.26, 0.62. Interesting. Here's an example of a market maker buy model, how it took this long to get to the low, and then how quickly it's moving the other direction. A lot of sitting and waiting on this, folks. For equal highs on ES is notorious for leaving open equal highs. But yeah, we might be waiting till 11 o'clock for that macro. think I'm going to remove that now. We are well past the 60 and even the 70% levels on that OTE range is right here inside this range. So if we were going to reverse, it would need to be right around here. But we also did point out earlier this opening range gap that's sitting right here. Midpoint is sitting right around 921. He'll trade. I mean, I've seen his broker statements in one of his latest videos. He'll trade any day, but what he recommends people to do is stay away from Mondays because they can get slow and choppy like this, and a lot of new traders don't have the patience to wait through this. So I've taken one trade, and that was right before open. I did it. I called it on screen, but I took the trade off screen, which was right here. When it came back and it hit this breaker, I did take it for just a 10 handle scalp. But outside of that, I've been waiting. Then a lot of people don't have the patience to wait through this. But like Maserati? Yeah, Maserati. Yes. As Maserati just literally pointed out, this is all high resistance liquidity in the process of moving up, but once it moves lower, it's creating a low resistance opportunity for an aggressive move lower, if that's what price wants to do. This will be very easy for price to run through these lows because every single one of these lows has some type of stop loss on it, and price can aggressively move through that. All right, so this is the candle that if we can get a 5-minute close here, I will call that a 5-minute change in state of delivery. Got 3 minutes left for that to happen though. And folks, we have a little bit of time before my guess is we have some activity and I have to use the restroom. So I'm going to put this on pause. I'm going to just put... I will be right back. Okay, folks, we're back. We still got a house full of kids over there. We got some family still in town. We were supposed to have a snowstorm. Never happened. So they'll be leaving on tomorrow morning. And tomorrow morning the kids actually go back to school. So all right, the 5 minute, we did have a close below. Right here. Right here, there was our close below. Just not very strong. $15-minute closes in 5 minutes here. It's not a bad place to take a short, to be honest. $10 handle stop loss. I'm going to go ahead and take a entry here. We'll see if it wants to react right there, if it's just going to give us a tag that level. That's not, this is the wrong one. I think it's a sell limit I need. No, I don't think that's incorrect. I think that's incorrect either. I'm not even sure. I'll just, if we come up to that level, I'm going to close the trade. But I'm going to hold this for a much larger move if it gives it to us. Nope, I don't like that. Oh, come on. All right, closing that trade. So that's a 10-handle stop out right there. I did this based on us having a 5-minute change in state of delivery in these two candles right here. and I took a standard 10 handle stop loss. I call it a standard 10 handle stop loss because that's what I like to use. At this point, I want to wait for a displacement. Yeah. Even if it's trending, we don't have an entry to go long here. Note the time, 10:45. This is when I typically like to see moves start taking place. Yeah, we could see a breaker, high, low, higher, high, break below it. We got a 30-second right here. A sweep of liquidity, closing red. But it should have done it right now. That's the only way I would have been interested in that. Or this candle here. There's your breaker to the upside. I don't like these kind of breakers. I'll probably never take those. We got a low high or high low, higher high in regards to the bodies for now a breaker. How does that look on the 1 minute? Not really there on the 1 minute. We do have a 1 minute close. Still that 30 seconds being respecting. All right, there's a 30-second close. See what happens right here. This would be, we swept this low right here. So Charbel, bulls looking very stubborn, but Friday's move. Yep. I mean, I think this is the spot you see a reversal if we're going to get it. I don't like the close of that last candle. Landed right on the previous day low and on the daily fair value gap. See how it reacts here. ES just completed, filled its daily fair value gap just now. Oh, that's the inversion. Technically, it has a little bit higher to go. That's the high. Chop, yes. That is what we've been seeing is chop. I'm just looking for one opportunity. That's it. I just want one shot. One shot. Philippe. Good morning. God bless you. Charbel. I mean, I like the top being there. I mean, it could go up to 65 on ES if it wants to completely fill in the daily fair value gap. Or halfway point to the opening range gap, sitting right here. That's what I was thinking, Phil, when I was saying that. After the fact, I should say. Sounds like a rap song. There's nothing good in here. The only thing good was that 30-second, and that, thankfully, it did run the low before you could take it. As of right now, structure-wise, there's really nothing. You got a potential for a 5-minute breaker, but, I mean, it's a pretty, it's a big mess right here. A lot of low resistance liquidity right here. We got a 5-minute change in state of delivery would be from this high. Sitting right there. And ES or NQ on the 15-minute closes basically, we'll see where it closes in the next, that's going to be the 11 o'clock candle. It's going to close bearish. I could see a drop right here from that point right there. Let's just play the game. Let's see what happens. Stop loss there. Let's see if it runs that low there. You guys should see my mouse right here, so I'm not doing anything. Good reaction. I don't like it closing green though. ES is inside a 1 minute fair value gap. Yeah, this is not a trade. This is me just seeing if coming up after we had a 15-minute close, manipulation on that 15-minute candle for displacement lower. That's what I would bet we get is displacement lower on the 15-minute candle. Yeah. So that trade probably will work. The trade idea, there's no entry. It's pretty choppy. It's not something that I would want to actually do on my account. If you were in it, your stop should be at break even at this point. Yeah, that looks good. All right, T. Good. Have a great day. Technically, the 1 minute inversion. Where's the 1 minute inversion? There's your stop at break even. I would like to take. I would take a long, but it just we haven't had any good retracement for a long. Even down here, there was no long to take, unless you did the 30-second right here. If you took the 30-second that Ryan took earlier, that would have been a great trade. But outside of that, there hasn't been anything. I mean, it could happen at lunchtime. You always want to be alert right at the beginning of lunch. Bob Smith, you bet. It's more sitting on our hands right now. Is that what you're referring to right there? I can't do it. Those look too smooth. It's inside all this chop. It would be too much risk. There's not even a 15-minute fair value gap except for down here. Honestly, this move, realizing, because I sat down and I came onto this, I saw this happening when I sat down, or I don't remember exactly how it happened, but it was inside the macro. But now I'm looking at the 15-minute. This is the 15-minute. Here's that candle right there. And it wicks into this 15-minute fair value gap and then rejects it. And then off of this, we get a 30-second long. The more I'm looking at it, the more I'm like, Ryan had a great trade there. By far the only trade. I didn't have this set up. get some... All right, there's a push higher. All right, man. Take care. If you guys want something to study, go back and look at the 30-second long right here. This 30-second long was the trade. Reacted off of the first fair value gap of the New York session. It came down and wicked inside a 15-minute fair value gap. First time we wicked inside that 15-minute fair value gap. And then on the 32nd, it gave us a beautiful 30-second inversion. And then it ran to the high of the fair value gap. So from the entry point, if you were to hold to this point, that's 49 handles. This is a great trade. Great setup. This is the kind of stuff you want to wait for and be able to recognize. Nothing in here. See, there's nothing. You look at this, and then you look at this. There's nothing. Nothing right here. This. Sweep of liquidity. Key levels, first fair value gap, 15-minute fair value gap. Explosive move the other direction. Inversion fair value gap. Consolidation right here. Get rid of it. I'll get rid of this. And then, boom. Even if you were to just go to this high, it's 26 handles. You can't complain about a trade like that. So, here's a 30-second inversion right here after it swept the highs. Low resistance liquidity right here. Two-minute inversion. ES just tagged. It's the high. I like that. Or tagged the fair value gap. So the daily fair value gap, this was the high. All right, folks, this is probably going to drop right here. Let's see if it gives us an opportunity. All right, so 2-minute short would be right here. It's a little far for me. But that low resistance liquidity is probably going to be ran right here. I like this potential. Let's see. It just can't take a short there. Probably get a 5-minute change in state of delivery soon. I want to see how it reacts right here. Honestly, it looks like a higher, another run higher. I like this short right here. I think that's what I'm going to take if it gives it to us. Okay. So I am in this trade. See if it gives it to us. Close will be right at 75, 78. Stop will be moved to break even as soon as we run those lows. Stops at break even. All right, stopped out at break even. Because we ran this low right here. That sucks. And it barely got me, didn't it? Five-minute change in state of delivery we've had. That sucks. Well, I'm glad I had my stop at break even, at least if this ran completely the other direction. Hopefully you guys held it through that because it gave a nice run lower. That came out to be 14 handles about. Overall, not the prettiest. Yeah. So MG, you got the quick 10 handles. Good. It was there. I mean, that was the model. Played out. I think, folks, we're going to call it a day here. It's been a little over 2 hours. I probably will keep watching the market, but as far as the stream goes, we'll probably be done. So we'll be back here tomorrow morning, 9:15, New York Standard Time, if you want to join. Thanks for being here, guys. God bless. We'll see you guys tomorrow.